Dysfunction on Capitol Hill. That's what our next guest says is happening when it comes to extending the payroll tax cut. With us now is Greg Valliere. He's public policy strategist for the Potomac Research Group. Greg, welcome back to In Business.
Good to see you, Margaret.
Greg, what is the possibility that we will see a retroactive payroll tax cut? We can't get this done right now. We'll think about it in the new year.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, you have to start thinking about Plan B, Plan C. They're so dysfunctional. I think one plan would be to do it retroactively. Oh, that's a nightmare for people in payroll and accounting. Another plan would be, I think, for John Boehner to just blink and say, you know, we'll do 2 months. We'll fight the good fight later in February. The third option that I don't rule out. Yeah, sort of, but, you know, lots of things get ruled out and come back on the agenda. The final thing, Margaret, that I don't rule out is that a very angry President Obama on December 27th, December 28th, calling Congress back into session. I think that's a real option.
That they're going to spend Christmas on Capitol Hill getting this done?
Not Christmas. They'll probably... You know, I think they'll definitely be gone by the end of this week. But if they fail to do anything, and we're staring at a tax hike on January 1, I wouldn't rule out the president coming back from Hawaii and demanding that Congress return to town, like I said, on the 27th or 28th. That's a possibility.
What is the political? We know the economic consequence. What's the political consequence, though, for the speaker? For the Republicans, if in fact you see the party not support essentially the continuation of a tax cut?
Isn't this ironic? Here's a party, the Republican Party, that has as its signature issue tax cuts. They've made a career out of boasting about reducing taxes, and now they're going to be blamed for a tax increase on January 1. This is an unmitigated disaster for the Republicans. There's no other way to call it.
Is there a consequence beyond Capitol Hill, though? I mean, how, in the midst of a build-up to a campaign, are the Republican leadership going to respond to this?
Well, I think they're going to try to spin their way and say, you know, we should do a year, not 2 months, and I think they've got a point on that. But at the same time, Margaret, I think Barack Obama knows if we begin the year with a tax hike, that's not good for him either. He needs to see a strong economy next year to get reelected. So this isn't a good story for an awful lot of people. Logic would indicate they'll get a deal. But in the last few months, logic has not prevailed in this town.
Well, it seems that there is a split, though, within at least the House Republicans. Is there truly a divide within the Republican Party right now?
You have to say yes. No matter how much they want to spin it, I think the Republicans in the Senate, people like Mitch McConnell, or a lot of moderates who are seeking re-election, like Lugar of Indiana or Brown of Massachusetts, they're very angry at the Tea Party conservatives in the House. So that's a subplot. It's not the main plot, but this fighting among Republicans just adds to a sense of gloom the party has. They probably are going to see Ron Paul do well in Iowa, which they don't want to see, and the party is looking at Barack Obama's job approval ratings going up. So it hasn't been a real great stretch for the GOP.
What are you expecting out of this vote later today? We've been hearing it's just going to fail in the House, but is there a breakdown of the vote that's going to have some significance?
Yeah, let's see how many Republicans defect. Probably not a lot, because John Boehner is quite good at keeping his troops in line. I think once they, in effect, say we don't like the Senate version, then they'll talk about appointing conferees to a House-Senate conference. Sounds great, except for one problem. You need Senate conferees, and I don't think Harry Reid is inclined to go there.
All right. Well, we'll see how this goes later today. Thank you very much for giving us your analysis, Greg.
Happy holidays.